Good afternoon, everybody. I'm just going to give it just a second to make sure everybody pops in. All right, we can go ahead and start. Hopefully, everybody. Yeah, usually when these Google Meet classes, there's some people who struggle on the first day or two to get it right, but you guys are here. So welcome, everybody. Welcome to a new term. Welcome back to some familiar faces. I noticed several names on here that I know already. And welcome to those of you as well who are taking me for class for the first time. So, my name is Dr. Jeff Yeager. This is my fifth year being a professor at Bluefield State. I'm a professor of both English and philosophy here at Bluefield State. So I handle both shoes, both pairs of shoes. This is, of course, a philosophy class, an ethics class. So, welcome everyone. Um, just to give you guys a little bit of background about myself. Um, of course, I've kind of been all over the area as far as West Virginia goes. I did my doctorate work at West Virginia in English at WVU. After that, I taught community college for several years. I actually recognized someone on in the class who had me at a different college, and ever since I've been here at Bluefield. My English background is in American literature, but my philosophy background, I mostly specialize in the ancient and medieval traditions. So, but I also, as well, do a lot of work with medical ethics. Um, I actually got a certificate in medical ethics. So we're going to be doing quite a lot of that closer to the end of the term. I know most of you guys in here are in radiology, rad tech, or nursing. So you guys are going to get plenty of things to think about, especially close to the end for your future careers. Everything that we do up until that point, though, is kind of build on. It's going to build on each other. So by the time we get to the medical ethics stuff, as you'll find, you'll have all these frameworks for which to look at it. So, what is ethics? You might ask. What is it? This is something that we're going to be discussing more on Wednesday. But ethics, traditionally speaking, is the philosophical study of the good life, good living. Like what makes life worth living? How can we go about living life to our best potential? Ethics, in a philosophy sense at least, is not a study of rule books. It's not a code of conduct. Whenever you think about ethics, you might think about something like legal ethics, right? Where lawyers, for instance, have a set of guidelines that they have to go by. For instance, client attorney confidentiality. Like if you're a lawyer and your client reveals something to you, like I killed a guy, the lawyer can't reveal anything. Same thing for medicine, right? That's a doctor-patient confidentiality. That's one example of medical ethics that in that respect. This is not what this isn't a study of rules. It's a study of the good life and good living. And the study of ethics involves a lot of things. You have to kind of look at other branches of philosophy when you study it. Sometimes, usually, these philosophers, as we'll find, they kind of create systems where they try to explain everything, including ethics. So that's something that we will run into certainly this semester. So we're going to start from the ancient Greek period. We're going to spend a lot of time, 6-7 weeks, on the ancient Greek period, focusing specifically on Aristotle. Then we'll do some medieval. Then we'll do up some modern philosophy, and then bioethics. So that's kind of the trajectory of the course. So I'm going to quickly kind of go over the syllabus, and then close to the end, we will do some class introductions where you guys can introduce yourselves. We can kind of establish some community here. This is hopefully a class where I won't be doing all the talking. These are certainly a lot of topics that instigate conversation and discussion. If you've had me before, you know that that's my teaching style. That's how I like to roll. I don't like to lecture. I like to converse and discuss things. So let's quickly get into it, though, and then we will do some intros. So I'm going to share my screen. So you guys are here, so you know what's up. But this is Humanity 223. You're here on this link. This link might change. I realized right before class that I did something funky as far as setting it up. So that link very well may change before Wednesday. If it does change, I will change it here on the syllabus. I will change it on the Moodle, and I'll send you another email. But I did something funky with setting up the link. So just so you're aware, that might change. I also have another Google Meets link for office hours. So most of you guys here, some of you are on the Bluefield campus and can come see me here live on campus in Basic Science 120. Others of you may be on Beckley campus, or just maybe remote in general. If you're in that kind of situation, especially where you can't come see me, I have a link there for office hours. Only thing is, I'm not there all the time, so if you do want to meet with me, just shoot me a message. Say, hey, will you meet with me at noon or something? And I'll be like, okay, I'll join the link then. So just kind of let me know if you want to meet that way, and we'll meet that way on that link. I have my office number here. I don't have like a missed call log on my phone in my office. So if you do call and I'm not here and I don't answer, leave a message, because if you leave a message, it goes to my voicemail or to my email. Then even if I'm at home or something, I will get it and I will know to get back with you. I also put my personal number there. I do ask, though, only use that if all other communication methods fail. Like maybe you try to email me, I never responded back for some reason, or tried to get me in my office, you couldn't get me there, or if it's an emergency that's urgent, I leave that there for you as well. I like to keep things professional, though. So just only use that if it's urgent. Okay. My times that I'm here at Bluefield campus are listed. Mondays and Wednesdays, I'm mostly here I'm in my office from 12 to 1. Usually about 30 minutes before class starts, too, I'm in here. Fridays, I'm in here a lot. Tuesdays and Thursdays, I'm in here late in the day. I'm the late in the day professor, okay? All of my colleagues have kids and stuff, so I don't, so I gladly volunteer for late in the day. I'm not a morning person. So your books for the class, what do you need then? There's 3 books. There'll be some PDFs that you guys will read on Moodle as well. But the order in which you will need the books, this one is Aristotle's Nicomachean Ethics. This is a book that you especially want this particular version. It's translated by Joe Sachs. I've read a couple of different versions of this, and this one is by far the most readable and understandable. This is a pretty hard book to read. I'll be honest with you guys. But it's very rewarding. Every semester, this is probably my 4th or 5th time teaching ethics now. Every semester I've taught this book, and students love it. It's hard. It's pain when you first start it, but then when you kind of get into the swing of it, you'll love it. He discusses lots of stuff in here. Justice, courage, friendship, temperance, all these different things. We will also be, around midterm, we will look at St. Augustine's Confessions. This one is edited by Henry Chadwick. I also suggest that you get this particular version from Oxford because it's also a very good translation. St. Augustine he was medieval Catholic philosopher right at the beginning of the fall of Rome, that period. But his book is all about his struggles with sin and especially lust. And it's very much kind of a personal narrative. It's a very personal story. But it's something I think that everybody can relate to. So we will be looking at that for a week or so, about a week and a half around midterm point. There's 12 books or chapters in St. Augustine's Confessions, and we will read the first 9. The last 3 aren't related to ethics, so we will read 2/3 of the book. And the last thing that we'll do, I actually wanted to kind of blend together the study of literature and the study of philosophy in this class, because that's kind of what I do. My research, I blend the 2 disciplines. So pretty close to the end of the course, in November, we will read a couple of short novellas by John Steinbeck. The short novels of John Steinbeck is what the book is called. And it's got, in particular, the 2 that we're going to read, Of Mice and Men and The Moon is Down. Those are the 2 that we're going to read pretty close to the end. You can wait to get this one closer to the end if you want. These first 2, you'll need those, especially Aristotle, you'll need that in a week or so. So you'll probably want to grab those as soon as you can. You could probably find as far as the Steinbeck goes, I gave you this big version. It's got several different books in it. You could probably also get Of Mice and Men and The Moon is Down just separate. That actually might be cheaper. I'm not sure. I just kind of ordered them lumped together just to make sure that you only had to buy 1 book instead of 2. A lot of the thing, we'll do that in the very last couple of weeks of the course. And again, just like with bioethics, all the stuff we've learned, we'll be able to apply it to literature. And some of you in the class I will actually give you a choice for your last paper, whether you want to write about bioethics or whether you want to write about literature. Pretty strong amount of reading in the class, and the reading is challenging. I will say that the reading is challenging. Read it, think about it, and when we come to class, we'll break it down. We'll make it understandable and readable. Philosophy is a study. It can be very abstract at times, but it's also something that you can relate personally to yourself. This is a class, I think, that makes an impact on how you think about a lot of things. Just go into it with an open mind and all will be well. I will skip through some of this legalese. The assignments in class, this is pretty standard for how I roll in all my classes. There'll be 2 short papers in the class. You will have 3 choices. I will give 3 prompts, but you only have to do 2 of them. You can skip one, okay? And if you skip one, that's fine. Or you can do all 3, and I will grade the best 2, and I'll put the best 2 scores in the grade book. So 3 prompts, you do 2 of them. Each one of those papers will be worth 20%. There will also be at midterm and final a written exam. The exams, I will give you just a big bunch of questions to pick from, and I will have you write out some detailed explanations of those questions that I give you. If some of you would rather do it orally, I can also do that. We can kind of meet and have a conversation and do your exam that way too. I didn't do it orally. Usually I do at least one of these orally, but where the class is so big, it has over 20 people. I figured doing 20 exams that take 20 minutes each would be a lot of time. Okay, so, but if you want to take it orally, I welcome it. It's actually easier, I think, especially if you're comfortable to speaking and talking. There'll be some weekly homework assignments and quizzes worth 15%. Most of those will just be quizzes, kind of recapping the week's readings. That's usually what I would do with those. Maybe some lecture points. I don't really do a lot. In this class, I don't really do much like written homework assignments. Most of them are quizzes. But those things are good in the way that they help reinforce the readings and the concepts to you. And overall, class participation is also worth 10%. So do you speak regularly in class? That's something that I will monitor. Are your comments good and thought-provoking? Are you here consistently? Are you here and stay? Right? Do you ask good questions? There's all kinds of things that I factor into overall class participation. I put a participation grade here though, just because I incentivize you to speak up, as this class is best done when people talk and speak up. So that is how I grade. Okay, 2 papers, 2 exams, some quizzes, and participation. The participation, I usually measure that at midterm. So I will give you a score at midterm on how you're doing. Then if you need to improve, I'll tell you. And then at the final, I judge it again. Then I actually count the final score instead of the midterm score. Sometimes one point about the exam, sometimes, especially if a question of something occurs with an exam where maybe there's a question about academic honesty, dishonesty, I do reserve, even if I give you a written test, I reserve the right to have you retake the test if something like AI comes up. Okay. If I re-administer the test and then you do well, and you actually clearly know what you're talking about, then great. So I do reserve the right to ask you to do that if I think the situation warrants it. I had an exam once where somebody was quoting like all these different philosophers and all these different obscure works. And I'm thinking, well, damn, I haven't even read that book. I'm sure this person hasn't either, right? But I checked things and it was AI. Okay, so if something like that occurs, I do reserve that right to retest you if I think it's necessary. And as far as the participation goes, I see many of you are already kind of on it, but I also certainly appreciate when you have cameras on in the class, because there's nothing worse than teaching a class like this where it feels like you're speaking to a black hole in the void, right? Nihilism is a subject for the end of the class. Like I don't want to speak to a void. It's good. We establish community. If you turn cameras on, we establish community. We get to know each other. Of course, if you need to get up and go to the bathroom or something happens, right, you can turn the thing off then. I don't care. But cameras, I ask that you have them on to receive the participation scores. That way it's clear you're not doing something else. You can always tell me before class or something like, hey, I'm actually in the car driving somewhere or something. I'll be listening, but I'll have it off. If you tell me something like that, that's fine. I'll grant exceptions. Again, if something happens or you need to get up or something, you can turn it off momentarily. Please do turn them on. It makes the class better that way. Just a few other things here. The attendance policy. It is the Bluefield State attendance policy that you need to be here for an equivalent of 85% of the course. So if you, for a 15-week course that meets twice a week, like this one, you shouldn't miss any more than 5 classes, or you get, you're subject to an automatic failing grade. Okay. Certainly things come up. Maybe you run into a medical issue, something of that nature. You can certainly keep me apprised and in the loop, and I can reserve the right to mark absences now as excused, where they don't count against you. But 5 is kind of that magic number that we've come up with. Any more than that's when it becomes egregious. Google Meets, when you join a Google Meet class, it actually keeps records of how long people are here, all that stuff. So if I read a report and it's like, how one person was here for 5 minutes, like sometimes people like to try that. They'll check in, then leave or something. That way, it does keep records of how long you're here. Also, tardiness. Just try to avoid being any more than 10 minutes late if you can help it. Certainly, things come up sometimes too. Just be courteous and be attentive. Come at 3:30. Sometimes, most of the time, the class will last about an hour. So just be a courteous class citizen. Okay, be here and be a courteous citizen. And then academic dishonesty, plagiarism. The traditional cases of plagiarism, of course, are when you copy stuff from another paper, pass it off as your own, like it's your own ideas. That's the classic case. I had an example a few semesters ago where I had a class of 3 people and 2 of them turned in the exact same paper, right? Did you not think I would notice? They were different in the sense that if one paper said Bob hit the ball, the other paper said the ball was hit by Bob. Okay. They were different to that extent. But otherwise, the same exact paper. Don't do that. I don't get too many cases like this these days. Don't do that. And then when it comes to AI and my policy, this is AI is something that I work on heavily here at Bluefield State. I'm actually the technology committee chairman. We're actually going to try to pass a unified school policy this semester, but right now it's left up to each individual instructor. So when it comes to AI, if I read a paper and I suspect it, there's lots of things that might tip me off for suspecting it. Just turn it in, flag your paper. Usually if it's 70% or higher, that warrants investigation. There's different, oftentimes it writes in this really wooden, generic way. This is a class about being a human being, okay? The study of the good life, being a human being. If it sounds like a robot wrote it, it's pretty easy to see, okay? But there's also some other indicators, as I mandate using Google Docs in the class, which we'll talk about in a second. Google Docs keeps timestamps of your work. If I pull your paper up and it says you worked on it for 10 minutes, okay, that's probably an indicator something's off here. If I have usually at least 2 pieces of evidence to suggest that I think it's AI, I will bring that to you. I won't accuse you, okay? Because sometimes people are innocent. Or sometimes people can give me proof that they've written it. But I'll show you my evidence, and if I'm not convinced by an explanation, I reserve the right to ask you to redo a piece of work, a paper, or even a test, okay? So don't make it come to that. Just do all your work the way you're supposed to. Type it all in Docs. As far as the AI software goes, personally, I think it's best if you stay away from it. I used to be of the notion that I would teach it and teach people how to use it as a tool and use it responsibly and all that stuff. But over the last couple of years, my thinking has grown more cynical on it. I think it's dulling people's brains. I think it's making people overly reliant on technology. I sound like an old baby boomer when I go into this, okay? But I think it's making people stupid. Okay, I honestly do. If you struggle with grammar or something like that, I would rather mark 50 commas on your paper than read something BS written by AI. Okay. At least then I'll mark it and you'll learn and you'll get better. So, not to mention there's other issues with it, like the fact that it's destroying our planet. Right? It is making, every time you run a query through an AI, it sucks a gallon of water, those machines, to cool them. It's making our electricity bills much higher because of data centers. It's making being able to buy a computer unaffordable because computer parts like RAM are now going to data centers. It's making things like buying a car expensive because cars have computer parts. The downsides to this are it's causing people jobs. People are losing jobs left and right. If you use it, you're complicit in it. And frankly, I don't want to be complicit in it anymore. So I, in my daily practice, am wiping it clean. I'm not going to use it at all. If you do use it, I suggest you only use it for things like fixing your grammar, maybe brainstorming some ideas, that type of thing. Don't use it to generate anything that, especially in your written work. The Grammarly thing is the worst. I despise that app with everything in me. I think it's a garbage app. It makes people, sure, it'll correct your grammar, but it'll correct your wording. It makes you sound like a robot. I especially encourage you to stay away from that one. It's a piece of crap. Okay. Just run your spell checker on Google Docs. That's way better than using Grammarly. At least it doesn't correct your wording, make you sound like a machine. And as far as the Google Docs goes, let me just kind of give you a quick tutorial on how to go about this. So let me go to my I'm changing my screen. This is my Google Drive screen, drive.google.com. If you don't have a Google account, like a YouTube account, a Gmail account, you'll probably need to make one. Most everybody has a Google account, though. So you don't have a school account for this. You'll have to use your personal one. What I suggest you do as far as making sure you submit your papers and your work right, you can go about this at like the document level. So for instance, if I create a new Google Doc here, it'll take me to this blank screen. You can, of course, work and type within the doc. But to get the permission right, you got to click share. And then you change your permission. Anyone with the link as editor. Anyone with the link as an editor. If you got, let's see, I don't know if that's showing. There it is. If you guys want to whip your phones out and take a picture of that right now, do so you know what it looks like later. Anyone with the link as editor. That's what you need to set your permission to before you turn in something. And then all you got to do to turn something in is click copy the link. And then like on the Dropbox on Moodle, it'll have a little box where you can paste the link into it. So that's how you will submit your 3 papers and your 2 tests this term. Okay, through that method. You can also, instead of doing it with each document, you can just do this one time. So like you can click new and like make a folder. Then all of your work in the class you can stash in that folder. Let's say here's my 302 British authors course. Okay, let's say that I wanted everything in that folder, I wanted to make it shareable. Let's see here we go. I have to make sure I was changing screens. Again, you would click new and new folder. Once your folder's created, you can click these like 3 little dots, click share. Then you can change the permission on that. Anyone with the link as an editor. And then everything in that folder from there on out, here's my reading schedule for major British authors. Everything in that folder from there on out will already have the correct permission. You can do that one time And that'll ensure that you don't run into any issues submitting. Usually the first week or two of a class or the first assignment or so, I have trouble with people not setting them right. But if you took that picture like I showed you, make sure you set it right. And I'll give you instructions 100 times. And what I just showed you, I have a 2-minute video explaining it again at the top of our Moodle page. But that's how you submit and make sure you get your file settings right. Okay. If you've taken me before, you know this song and dance. I've been doing this for a while now. Questions about any of that? Anything I can address at the moment? Easy enough, right? The biggest thing to not do, don't write in Word first and then copy and paste over. Make sure you do all your work within that program. If you do, everything's fine. I actually have a little program here on my Google Docs that'll play a video of every single word being typed on the page or backspaced or whatever. So I'll see if things are copied and pasted in big chunks and things like that. I usually only check it if I feel like I have to, but I have that lots of times. Sometimes that has saved people. I'll turn it in, I'll flag somebody, and then I'll check and see that the person actually wrote it, and I don't even raise an issue about it. Think about this: it's not me being the AI police. It's me giving you a way to prove you've done the work. And I think that not just my class, but all classes, you need to kind of document anymore that you have done the work in case a question ever would arise. And even this method might be falling apart on me because now there's actually AIs that you can download it that will type something for you over a span of like 3 hours to make it look like it was written the right way. Well, I have a program for that too that'll tell me if something like that's been used. Okay. The stuff keeps getting better every day. It's insane, really. All the clever ways that people will go about not having to use their brains. Last up, then we'll do our introductions. Just the schedule of everything is here. The first couple of weeks, like Wednesday, I'm going to give you just a general overview of the discipline of philosophy as a whole, all the different schools within it. Next Monday, we will read a story called The Ring of Gyges by Plato. We're going to then spend a day on Socrates, a day on Plato. Then we will be doing Aristotle the next couple of weeks after that. We're going to read the Nicomachean Ethics. There's 10 books in it. We're going to read all but one of those books just because the one book's kind of not relevant. So we'll read 1 and 2. Then after Labor Day, 3 through 5, 8 and 9, and then 7 and 10. We'll read 7 and 10 7 out of order. It's not a book that one chapter builds on the next. It's kind of just chapters that are different topics. We'll spend some time talking about some late Greek, early Roman philosophies, Epicureanism, Stoicism, and skepticism. Stoicism is very popular today. Like if you go into Books a Million and you'll look at the philosophy section, that's usually what you see first. Stuff like Marcus Aurelius's Meditations. Stoicism is a philosophy that influences how we look at medical ethics today. Then after that, I will introduce you to Christianity. Then while you're working on your, then you'll do your paper, and then midterms around that point. We'll do confessions for a couple of weeks. Then we'll have like 3 or 4 classes on modern philosophers. Modern in the sense that they're philosophers in the last 500 years. Okay. So we'll look at people like Hobbes and Rousseau and Kant, the utilitarian philosophers, John Stuart Mill, Jeremy Bentham. And we'll talk about Nietzsche and moral relativism and existentialism. After that, our next unit will be bioethics. So I will give you kind of like a lecture introducing you to different ways that you can think about bioethics, called moral status. And following that, we'll spend a couple classes talking about different hot button issues. So we'll have a day talking about abortion, IVF, and prenatal screening. We'll spend a day talking about disability and sexuality. We'll talk about euthanasia or assisted suicide, whatever term you want to put on it, and palliative care. And we'll spend a day talking about brain death and the philosophy of dying. Talk about a topic that you will leave in a good mood about. Okay, all these are extremely important topics. And something that I will discuss is you actually do have rights as healthcare providers, most of you who are going to be doing that. You have morality clauses, ethics clauses that you can exercise in case somebody above you ever tries to tell you something that you're not comfortable with doing. That's something that we'll discuss. In the last couple of weeks, we'll read Of Mice and Men the week before Thanksgiving. Then we'll read The Moon is Down the week after Thanksgiving. That's kind of how I've structured it. I feel like I've perfected this course. I've cut stuff that could be cut, and I've added new stuff in that's good. Like if you would have took it with me last semester, we would have had one less day about bioethics, for instance. I feel like this is the strongest version of the course that I've created yet. I feel good about it. So before we just do some introductions, anything that might be on your minds, feel free to unmute and just ask if so. Or you can type it in the chat box if you want. No question is a dumb question, as they say. Going once. Going twice. That's a good question, Mackenzie. Is this a class that we would benefit from taking notes? One thing I would actually encourage you to, mostly, rather than being worried about typing and taking notes, just listen, stay engaged in the conversation. Will be provided a recording of the class. Every class is recorded, and it'll be posted on Moodle after, so you can always kind of go back and just listen to it later again if you like. So I think it's best. You can certainly take some notes if you want, but I think it's a class that'll be best be done just by listening and staying an active listener. Okay. That's a good thing about the recordings. You go back if you feel uncomfortable with something, or maybe you missed a day, you can go back and get it. Okay. Is there a number we can dial or anything if we get scheduled to work on the days of class? Bella, hopefully if that's a thing that happens, hopefully it only happens just once or twice. Okay. That's something that you could certainly keep me in the loop about. At the very least, if you are allowed to work on your computer while you're at work, you can't turn the camera on, that's something that you can just tell me. Okay. Savannah, send your question to me, Savannah, over email. That's something that I can get back to you on there. Okay, that seems to be more of a personal question rather than a class question. If you want to, Savannah, after class, if you want to hang around for a minute, maybe I can help you fix your microphone issue. If you call my office phone, okay, maybe we can figure it out at the end. So if you want to do that, call me at the end of class. We'll try to figure it out. Okay. Anything else, guys? Good stuff. Good stuff. I got you, Lillian. That's cool. We're mostly just going to do pleasantries close to the end, so you're good. All right, so let us now introduce ourselves. Let me find the list of everybody who's here. So when I call on you, just kind of introduce yourself. Who are you? What are you here at Bluefield State studying? What do you hope to gain out of taking this philosophy class? Right? What do you hope to get out of it? That's something that you can maybe talk about. Just anything in general, just to help us get to know you. So we'll start with Bella. Is at the start of my list here. Bella, if you want to introduce yourself.
I'm here studying sonography, and I don't know, I didn't know I was taking this class until like a week ago, so I'm just kind of going along with it.
Just kind of going with the flow.
Yeah.
Anything on the list that you're excited about, or
I don't know, to be honest.
hopefully there will be plenty of surprises.
Yeah.
Where are you from, Bella? Are you from the area?
I'm from Princeton, West Virginia, so not too far from the campus.
Good deal. Yeah, I did live in Beckley, but I just moved to Bluefield last year, so I've been in the area. I went to Concord for my bachelor, so
yeah.
spent plenty of time in Princeton.
Yeah, my house is like 10 minutes from Concord.
Well, welcome, Bella. Hopefully, it will be a good experience.
Thank you.
Bryce. Bryce Breeding. Bryce is AFK. And there you are, Bryce. I see you. You're muted, Bryce. You're muted.
Okay, can you hear me now?
I can.
Okay, sorry. I'm Bryce, and I'm also doing sonography. So I'm super excited for that. And I live in Richlands, Virginia. So I'm about 40 minutes away from Bluefield State. So I went to Southwest Virginia Community College and got my associate's degree there. And so it's about 5 minutes away from my house. So it's a big difference to drive that. But I'm very excited for this class. So
Awesome. Welcome aboard.
Thank
I
you.
just drove through Richlands for the first time a week or two ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was. There's a lot of stuff there, and it's
There
just as
is.
big. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a small town, but it's fun. So
So welcome aboard,
thank you.
Connell Foster.
Yeah. I'm here for allied health sciences. So I guess like exercise science, personal training, stuff like that. And I'm from Maryland. Uh, for this class, I really don't know what to expect. I just kind of got up here like a week ago for like football. But I kind of like what you said about the Augustine Confessions book. So I'm looking forward to just reading that and just find out more about that.
Awesome. Yeah, it's a great book. It's a book for some people. It's a life changing experience reading that book. It's maybe not for all of you, but for some people, everybody can see a little bit of themselves in this book. I think so it's a really great read. So Dakota Dalton.
Hello. Y'all can hear me, right? Okay. I am also here for sonography. I also did not know about this class until recently, but hopefully I will just use this to broaden my horizons on English authors. And I also live in Princeton, so I'm not very far away from here.
Well, welcome aboard, Dakota. All of you guys in here doing sonography. A lot of the stuff that we'll talk about close to the end, like abortion, for instance, this stuff will certainly relate to what you do in your practice. So don't, yeah. The first half of the class might feel like, what are we doing? But as you'll see, it'll all connect.
Yeah.
Okay. Emily, you thought you were rid of me like 5 years ago, Emily, but I'm back.
Hi, I was gonna say that I had you at Southern.
Yep.
So I got my associate's degree in arts there, and then my medical coding and billing. And then I realized that the sonography program is here. So that's ultimately what I wanted to do, and that's what I'm in right now.
Awesome. I had you for literature there, if I remember.
Yeah.
So, yeah, before I came here, I taught at Southern Community College in Wyoming County. Of course, that campus is no longer there, sadly. So,
No. Yeah.
I was glad to see your name on the list. Glad to have you again.
Yeah, I was excited to see I would have you again.
Fisher is probably sick of me at this point. It's the third class Fisher has had with me.
It's not too bad. But I'm here for radiology for my associate's degree. And I also did not know about this class till about like 2 or 3 weeks ago. But I do enjoy reading, so I am pretty excited to read all these different stories.
Yeah, it's a bit of the readings are a bit different than what you're used to with me. We read Frankenstein and The Haunting of Hill House. So last time. I'm glad to have you again, Fisher.
Thank you.
Hannah Smith.
Hi, my name is Hannah. I'm from Narrows, Virginia, which is pretty close. It's close to Princeton. And I'm also doing sonography. And I think I'll like the readings in the class. That's probably what I'm most excited for.
Well, good. I'm certainly glad to have you here, Hannah. Welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, my wife just started her job at Virginia Tech today. How close are you to Blacksburg, that area?
It's probably about like 20 minutes, 20 to 30.
Very good. So you're on that long wait drive there.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not sure how to pronounce the next name. The last name's Prophet. If you want to introduce yourself, tell me how to pronounce your name.
I'm actually here with Bella.
Okay.
My mic's not working, so it won't let me turn it on. But it's Caden.
Caden.
Yes. I'm also here for sonography as well. So Tucker, leave it. I'm sorry, the dog. Um, I think I'm most excited about like hearing everybody's opinions on things. So that's my favorite thing. I like to debate and argue a little bit. So just be prepared for my opinions, y'all, because
Yeah, we will certainly discuss a lot of hot issues that get people riled up. So it'll
yeah.
as
Yeah,
long
I
as
took
long
like
as
a
we all
class
do
like that. So I took a class like that in high school. It's like we had to pretend like we were like lawyers and stuff. So I'm actually pretty excited for this class. Especially we're gonna be debating a lot of stuff.
yeah, especially when we get to the medical abortion, IVF, all that stuff gets people fired up. As long as we just all do so respectfully, right? Respectfully. And so,
You can take it off me now.
Oh,
well, welcome, Caden. Kylie Joe Minix.
Hello, my name is Kylie, and I am majoring in radiology. And I'm actually from Bluefield. I went to Montcalm High School, so I'm just about a 10-minute drive.
You're just
And I'm
over there.
excited. I'm excited for this class. I'm excited to hear everybody's opinions. Just like Caden said, I think that is interesting.
Well, welcome aboard, Kylie. Ever since I moved to Bluefield, I haven't really experienced the Virginia side much. Is there, like restaurants and stuff over there? Everything next to Walmart I have, but anything else? Yeah, so you'll have to give me some suggestions.
I actually work at Sam's Club, so
Oh, do you?
I'm kind of around that area a little bit. I think that it's Shogun. That's my favorite over there.
Yeah, there's some kind of seafood place in the Virginia side I haven't went to yet. I need to try.
Yeah, I haven't tried it yet.
Well, welcome aboard. Lakin's probably sick of me by now too.
I wasn't sure if there was more than one Lakin.
Oh,
I'm Lakin Bennett.
so I haven't had you. I think I've actually had another Lakin Bennett before. So.
You have. I've actually ran into the fact that we have the exact same middle name and almost the same birth date. Our school has got us confused multiple times. But I'm Lakin Bennett. I'm majoring in sonography, specifically OBGYN and abdomen. I've been taking prerequisites for a long time now. There were a lot for the program. So I started in high school, and I'm currently on my last 3, this class being one of them. So I'm excited for our conversations, and I think this will be one of the funner and more enjoyable prerequisites that I've had.
Well, good. I will look forward to having you, Lakin. Welcome. What other prerequisites are you having to take?
I am taking Intro to Sonography and Physics. Yep.
Physics, fun.
Yeah, so much fun. Thank you.
Mackenzie Schuff.
Can you hear me?
I can.
Okay, perfect. My name's Mackenzie. I'm from Fayette County. I'm in the sonography program, and I'm most excited about this class because, like, the books and the topics are things I wouldn't usually reach for. So I'm excited to kind of get out of my comfort zone and read and kind of learn and go from there.
Awesome. Welcome aboard. Are you mostly at the Beckley campus taking your stuff?
Yes, so I'm completely remote other than I have this class. It's like one face-to-face, and then I have one in-person class at Beckley. So I get to stay at home a lot, which I am not mad about.
I hear that. Welcome aboard,
Thank you so much.
Maggie Ward.
Hi, I'm Maggie. I am majoring in radiology and I'm also interested in sonography as well. I am from Bluefield. I've been here my entire life. I graduated from Bluefield High School. And yeah, I also did not know about this class until a couple weeks ago, but I am really excited.
Good. Welcome, Maggie. Do you have any suggestions for places that a new Bluefield person can try out?
Honestly, I don't know about in Bluefield, but my favorite is Campestre's in Princeton.
Yep. Yeah, I like that one in the El Azul next to the Walmart.
Oh, yes. The Sourdough Company in Bluefield is also really good.
I haven't tried that yet.
They're really good.
Is that the coffee place?
Yes, and they make their own breads and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's right across the street from that doctor's office, isn't it?
Yes.
Yep. I'm going to have to hit that up. I need all the coffee I can get. Savannah mentioned in the chat a minute ago something was wrong with her mic. But if you wanted just to say a few things in the chat or something, Savannah, before we go, you can feel free. Sean is last but not least.
What's up, everybody? My name's Sean. I am undecided right now because Bluefield doesn't have a culinary program. I like cooking and stuff like that. My grandparents are from Haiti, so I like a lot of Caribbean food and stuff like that. And I play football here at Bluefield. And I don't read a lot, so I'm looking forward to reading these new books and discussing them with you guys. So
welcome aboard, Sean. Yeah, I would. There's a. Have you heard about the International Food Day thing that we do here?
Nah, I haven't.
Yep. There's every October. It's usually in October or November. We have an international food fair where different people from all over will make their dishes and get to try them out. So you'll have to take part in that.
For sure.
And Savannah says she's majoring in sonography. And she's also excited to hear everybody's opinions. Opinions we shall all have. Okay. So, well, welcome everybody. This will be a good time. We'll have a good time. Lots of good readings. You learn some wisdom from some of the wisest people who've ever written anything, I think. So this will all be good stuff. And until Wednesday, you don't have to do any prep work or anything. Let me just really quickly, let me just see if I had anything due this week. Yes. Okay. So just a quick word before we hang up. There is kind of this first week introduction assignment thing. It's pretty cookie cutter assignment. It's what you do in like all your courses, where you can just, even some of what you just said just now, you could probably include in that. Just in a couple of paragraphs, just give me some introductory, couple paragraphs introducing yourself. Maybe you can even go into like what readings or topics are you interested in with this class. Main thing that I want for that is just to get you some practice with using Google Docs. So just type it in Google Docs and submit. Make sure your settings are set correctly. That's the main reason. That, and I have to collect some kind of assignment in the first week to prove that you're taking the class. Showing up to class isn't enough for the college to show that you're in it. Okay, so get that in as soon as you can. I think I officially have it due on Sunday night. And there's also a quiz there about AI, like what I just said about AI. Like, again, while I'm personally not using it anymore for different reasons. It is my policy that you can use it for grammar and stuff if you choose, but not to generate content. So the quiz gives you a few different scenarios that you can kind of evaluate. Is this an ethical use or not? It's mostly common sense, okay? But go make sure you take that sometime before the end of the week as well. Other than that, you don't have any reading or anything for Wednesday. We'll just kind of go into Wednesday cold, and I will give you an overview of all the different schools of philosophy. Okay. So I know that Savannah, you said you were going to call me 323. I'll type the number here for you. 304-327-4034. That's my office number if you want to call me. For the rest of you all, take care. I'll see you Wednesday.